Hi besties, welcome back to the channel again. In today's channel we're going to be making this beautiful cube top, and for the pants I made a pants. There's a previous video I made on how to draft out your pants, your palazzo pants. So for today we're just going to be concentrating on this cube top. Please, if this is your first time on this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do well by subscribing. Also, if you find this video educating, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share the video, and leave a comment if you find anything confusing. At the end of the video, I'm going to be showing you different ways you can style this cube top. For this particular tutorial, we're just going to be drafting on our pattern paper. So get your pattern paper ready. On our next episode, I'm going to show you how to join them together. So if this is what you're interested in, you would like to keep watching this video till the end. So like I said before, for this tutorial, I always have my pattern paper. So I'm going to be marking on my pattern paper first, but I just want to show you the fabric first. So I have my lining. I have 1 yard of lining and 2 yards of this flowered crepe, 2 yards of this plain crepe. So you'll be using 2 yards each for them and 1 yard to line the upper part of your top. To line the top actually. So I have the 2 zipper here with me. So I'm going to set this aside. We're going to be cutting on our pattern paper, and like I said before, this tutorial is going to be step by step for you guys to understand. So the first tutorial is I'm going to be showing you how to draft out the measurements on your pattern paper, how to draft exactly what we're making on a pattern paper. Then after that, we're going to be transferring on our actual fabric, draft it out. Then on another episode, I'm going to show you how to join them together because I want you to understand this perfectly well. So without wasting much of your time, let's get into it. But first, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you could get notified whenever we post new videos. Thank you. So let's get right into the video. So I'm going to be setting aside my fabrics, and we're going to be working on our pattern paper. So guys, we're going to start marking, but first of all, please ignore the fabric on the table. I had to place the fabric because of my marker. My marker is a permanent marker, so I don't want it to stain the table. So this is our pattern paper, so just focus on the pattern paper, please guys. So make sure you have your pattern paper on a fold, just like this. On a fold, just like this, the way you fold your fabric before cutting. So I'm going to be telling you the body measurement we're going to be working with for the upper part. So for the upper part, we're going to be working with shoulder 18, bust point 12, bust point 11, sorry, waist point 20, armhole 9, round bust 45, round waist 43. So we're not going to be making use of the hip length for the upper part. So then as for the length of this top is going to be 30, but I'm going to be adding 2-inch 2 extra for the folding allowance. So without wasting much of your time, let's get started. So I've gone ahead to mark our this line, which is what I always do when cutting on my fabric. Is going to serve as our starting point, and it's also going to be our shoulder line. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead to mark, to take the points, my body point. So for the bust point, like I said before, the bust point is 11, the waist point, bust point 11, the waist point is 20, and the length of this dress is 30 plus extra 2-inch folding allowance. So I'm going to be placing that here. So I'm just going to go ahead to mark an horizontal line across them so we can start. So just watch what I'm doing. So the body measurement I have, I just said now, is my body measurement. So go ahead to take your own body measurement and let's work this together. So follow this step by step and you're going to get exactly what I'm doing. So this is it. So I'm just going to label them the length, the waist point, the bust point, and the shoulder line. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is take my shoulder measurements divided by 2. So my shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 9. So I'm going to be marking that here. Then from that point, I'm going to come down to my bust point, which is 11. So I've marked that already. So I'm just going to indicate this is my shoulder, so don't get confused. So for the neck width, I'm going to be making use of 3.5. For the neck depth, I'm going to be making use of 3. So I'm going to use my curve like so. Hope you guys are seeing what I'm doing. To make a curve, I'm going to be making a curve, a nice curve, just like this. You can use your free hand to make that. So you not having a ruler will not stop you from doing that. So this is it. So from this place, I got my shoulder measurements. I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and I'm going to be connecting that into the neckline area. Hope you guys understand. Then from this place, I got my 1 inch slope, shoulder slope. I'm going to be taking my armhole measurement, which is 9. And I'm going to be marking a vertical line just like this, a straight line, just like this, into the shoulder slope. Hope you guys understand. And I'm equally going to mark an horizontal line for that as well. So go ahead to do what I'm doing. So I'm just going to label this our chest line. So this is our chest line. Hope you guys understand. Hope you guys understand. Let me repeat myself. My neck width is 3.5. My neck depth is 3. I made a curve. From this point, I took my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which gave me 9. And I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. From the 1 inch, I got my armhole 9. And I marked a vertical line and an horizontal line, which is serving as our chest line. From my shoulder, I took my bust point, which is 11. From my shoulder again, my waist point, which is 20. From my shoulder, I took the length of the top, which is 30, and extra 2-inch folding allowance. So we're on the same page, guys. So the next thing we're going to be doing now is to take our body measurements. So guys, the next thing we're going to be doing now is to take our busts divided by our round bust divided by 4. Our round bust divided by 4 is going to give us 11 and a half, sorry, 11.5, which is here. I'm not going to be giving any allowance because my pattern paper is on the fold, so I don't have extra. So I'm going to be transferring all the allowance on my actual fabric. So when we are cutting our actual fabric, I'm going to be transferring all our body allowance, our sewing allowance. So my bust measurement divided by 4 is 11 and a half. So I just marked that here. So I'm going to be dividing what I have here into 2. I have 9. I'm going to be dividing into 2, which is 4.5. And I'm going to be coming out by half an inch, just like this. And I'm going to make a curve. I'm going to be making a curve to get our armhole. I'm just going to make a nice curve, just like this. So this is our armhole curve. You got that right? So I'm going to extend what I got. I'm just going to extend this line into the bust point, just like this. So I'm going to be taking, the next thing is our waist. So our waist divided by, my waist divided by 4 is going to give me, my waist divided by 4, my waist is 40, round waist is 40 divided by 4 is going to give me 10. So I'm going to mark that here. So I'm going to be getting a curve. I'm just going to mark this down here from this place. I'm going to be marking into our waistline area. Then, you know, this dress has a kind of V shape at the front. So what I'm going to be doing, instead of taking my length measurements, I'm just going to slant from this line. I'm going to slant it into this place. Let me make sure you see what I'm doing. So because this dress has a curve, it has a V curve down, I'm just going to slant this line into this place. So watch me and see what I'm doing. I'm not going to be marking it straight. You can mark yours straight. Sorry, I'm going to be marking it straight. You can mark yours curve, whatever shape you want to give yours. So I'm just going to, from this place, I'm going to mark a straight line into the length of our dress. So watch me. Hope you guys understand what I just did. From this line, this chest line, I came down, connected into our waistline. So instead of taking my hip measurement divided by 2, I mark it on this length part. Because we have a curve on the dress, on the top, I just slanted from this place, from this point, into the end of the length of the top you're making. I don't know, hope you guys understand. I pray you understand. So this is it for it. So the next thing we're going to be doing now is to cut the body out and draft on our actual fabric. So remember I told you there is no allowance on this. I'm going to be adding the allowance on my fabric because the pattern paper isn't enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. So watch me and see what I'm doing. So this is it, guys. When you open it up, this is what you're going to get. I hope you understand. Let me place it straight like this so that you see. So when you open it up, this is what you're going to have. So this is the V shape that is on the top. This is the V shape. So when you open it up, this is what you're going to have. So I'm going to be folding this, and I'm going to be using this to draft out our back. So this is it. I'm going to be using this particular pattern paper to draft on our actual fabric for the front and for the back. So let's go and draft on our body, on the actual fabric, after which we're going to draft our sleeve out. So guys, you know, I said I was going to add all the allowances on the actual fabric. So I'm going to be cutting. This is for the front. Then there is something I noticed. While cutting, the neck depth is supposed to be 2. The neck depth is supposed to be 2, not 3. So I'm going to be readjusting my neck depth, but the neck width is still going to be 3.5. So I'm just going to come up a little bit like this for the neck area. Hope you guys understand. Then I'm just going to cut. I'm not going to be adding any allowance for the shoulder side and for the armhole. I'm not going to be adding any allowance for the armhole area. But for the other, so this is it for our front. So I'm still going to use this pattern paper to cut the back. So let's just set this aside. So guys, for the back, there will be no zip here. There will be no zip for the back because it has a belt. It has a belt that you can use to tighten it at the back or at the front, whichever way you want. But we're going to be opening this side for relaxation for the back. So if the back is going to be the same thing with the front. So the difference is going to be the neck. So the neck, I'm just going to mark 3.5, 3.5, which is here. This is our neck depth, which is the same thing with the neck, our neck width. This is our neck width, which is the same thing with the neck width of the front. Then for the neck depth, we're going to be making use of 1.5 inch. Remember, for the front neckline area, the neck width is 3.5, the neck depth is 2. Then for the back, the neck width is equally 3.5, but the neck depth is 1.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that straight. Hope you guys understand, so you don't get confused. So this is it for the back. This is it. So let's go ahead and cut out. So guys, for the sleeve, you already know how to cut your sleeve. If you don't know how to do that, I'm going to be leaving the link down below on how you can cut your sleeves. So I'm just going to be fast. So for the sleeves, I'm just going to come down by 5 here, and I'm equally for my bicep, I'm equally going to come down by 5. So I'll just mark a straight line just like this. These are starting points as usual. You all know that. I'm going to be leaving a link down the description box on how to draft your sleeve. So from this bisect, from this starting point, I'm going to be going down to my elbow. My elbow is 14.5. So I'm going to mark that here. Then the length of this sleeves is going to be, the length of my sleeve is 28. But because I want to attach a flare down the sleeve, I was actually going to do a two-step flare, but the fabric, this actual fabric isn't enough. So I'm going to be doing a one-step flare for it. So I'm going to be marking 23 just here. Then I'm going to be attaching my sleeves, my flare down that area. So what I'm going to do now is to divide my bicep measurements into 2, and my bicep is 9.5, which is here, and I'm just going to mark 11 for the allowance. So what I'm going to do now is just make a down curve, get to this place and curve it just like this. Then I'm going to be connecting this. If I divide my elbow measurements, it's going to give me 6. My elbow is 12, so divided by 2 is 6. So I'm just going to add this. So I'm just going to mark this down to the, hope you understand, but the sleeve is not tight. I'm just going to mark this down to the length and just cut it out. So this is it for the sleeve. I'm just going to notch here. Just going to go ahead and notch here. So these are 2 sleeves. 1, 2. So this is it for the sleeves, guys. So let's go ahead and make a belt. I'm just trying to manage this fabric because I notice it's not enough. So when making use of yours, if you're on the bigger parts, please make sure the upper the fabric you're going to use for your top, if you want this flay hand, unless you don't want the flay hand. If you don't want the flay hand, yeah, 2 yards to be enough for you. But if you want the flay hand, you're going to be making use of, that is if you're on the bigger side, you're going to be making use of 2.5 fabric. So I'm just managing what I have here. I want to make a belt. So for the belt, it's nothing serious. It's just, I'm going to be using this for one part of the belt. So I'm just going to fold this like this for the belt. I'm just going to fold it like this and make a stitch down. Make a stitch down to make a belt. After making a stitch, I'll turn it over. I'm going to show you how it looks like when on the episode where I'm going to be joining the body of the top. So we're going to go ahead to cut the flay at the hand. So for the flay, guys, I'm going to be using this to cut our flay. Let me just cut this out. I'm going to be using this to cut the flay for the 2 sleeve. So after you fold your fabric into 2 just like this, the way I did, you're going to be folding the 2 edge like this. Then you're going to be bringing, when you have it like this, you're going to be bringing either from this side, whichever part you want. So I'm just going to do it like this. So hope you guys understand. So the next thing I'm going to do, let me bring you closer. So the next thing I'm going to do now is, you know, my round sleeve for my wrist, for my where I ended the length of my sleeve. When I measure it, I'm going to be having 10. So I'm going to be using 5 for that. So I'm going to come down by 5, which is like this. I can even come up by 4.5 because I already have excess because this is folded. So I'm just going to mark a straight line here. I'm going to mark in a straight line here. So remember, our slide is not straight. So remember the length I made use of for the sleeve length is 24. So I'm going to be adding from this place, I'm going to be checking what I have here. So if you add 24, if you add 24 to 5, we're going to be having 29, or to 5.5, we're going to be having 29. So I'm just going to mark this round. Your tape is going to be at the starting point, so just go ahead and mark this round. Go ahead, mark 5.5 round. So I'm just going to make a round curve just like this, and I'm going to use my scissors to, I didn't cut on the actual on the chalk because I still have excess, so I'm just making it like this. So with this, I have my 2 sleeves. So I'm just going to go ahead and separate them. My 2 flay, I'm going to be separating them just like this. So you can see, with this I have my 2 sleeves. Let me make this so you can see what so with this I have my 2 sleeves. Hope you understand. So this is it. With this I have my 2 sleeves. This is 1, this is 2. So we are done for the top. So besties, this is the outcome of the top. As you can see, it came out really, really nice and fine. This one thing about this top is it's very versatile. You can style it in any way you can. As you can see on this video, I styled it in different ways. So you can do well to style yours in any way you want to style yours. And like I said before, I'm going to be leaving a link down the description box on how to cut your palazzo pants and how to draft out your sleeves if you don't get that. So if you find my video interesting, please do well by giving us a thumbs up, share my video. Feel free to leave a comment if you don't understand anything. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do well by subscribing and turning on your notification bell so you could get notified whenever we post beautiful tutorials like this. So this is all for the top. See you on my next video. Bye.